Hope. I haven't posted a solo vid in definitely a few months. It's been a while. It's been like a few Tasha months, which means it's probably been like a year. So, yes. Hello, it is just you and I. My last few videos have been like Justin and I just doing like cute little date ideas, hanging out, just like light, fun things with the absolute love of my life. On one of those videos, somebody commented like, hey, we need a life update, and I realized how long it's been since I've really dove into the things that I like to dive in on my YouTube channel. Long story short, dude, I have had probably the worst like year and a half of my life. A lot of growth, a lot of transitioning, a lot of hurt, healing, recovery, a lot of stuff. I filmed the same video like a week ago and it was just real negative, dude, and like my life has been positive and happy and like bright for the first time in a long time. First and foremost, Justin and I moved in together. In our last few videos, we've been filming in the new house. We've lived here since November and we absolutely love it. So we actually live on Justin's parents' property. They literally live like 10 feet away from us in the main house. Justin and his dad built this house 3 or 4 years ago on their property. One, to have a guest house to increase the property value, but also because he had just sold his house and condo. Troy would love to say hello to us. Oh, here he comes. Justin sold his house and condo so he could move here, live here, save a bunch of money, and then buy another house when the time was right, when the market was right. Unfortunately, his dad's mother, so his grandma, got sick. She had to move in like as soon as they finished. They had to like rush the job so she could move in. And then she lived in here up until like September, October of last year until she passed. So Justin and I moved in as soon as we could. We painted the walls, the cabinets, and did like a full clean before we moved in. I actually terminated my lease early with the rent that we have to pay here. I was saving $4,000 by terminating my lease early and paying 2 months of rent. So if that tells you how high rent is right now, and honestly, my rent was pretty low, like comparatively, because I've lived there for 3 years, so I got in when it wasn't like stupid high. It was still pretty ridiculous. My lease literally would have just ended like a week ago, had I not terminated it. We lived here together for 4 months, yes, and 1 month in, Justin lost his job. He was laid off. The company that he was working for is not doing super well, and they held on to him for as long as they could. So that was a huge, thorn in our new life schedule. I went from living alone for 3 years to moving in with my partner, who I thought I was only gonna see like 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and then like hang out with him on the weekends, to like seeing him 24/7. So it was just a lot, especially going through recovery and having like all the really deep work that I was dealing with. But it actually forced me to like have to communicate with Justin, let him know how I was feeling, if I needed space, why I was upset. Obviously reassure him that I didn't hate him. I was just going through really deep work in recovery and therapy and stuff like that. So it actually, I think, worked out for us really well. As I said, it just forced us to have to like coincide together, especially through a dark time in my life and a transition in his life, moving jobs. So it was definitely, I think, a good thing. He got a new job and this is his 3rd week. He loves it. I knew it was hard for him at his last company, being the controller and not having any financials to like play with. You know, when you're the money guy and there's no money, it's very stressful. It's not fun. He's in much better spirits. When I ask him about work, he's like so excited. He's so excited to learn and like do good things for the company, and I just respect that and love him to death. So I'm super pumped for him. Something else that happened that was pretty big for me over the last few months that really just added to like the hardship that I was going through was, I feel like I lost my 2 best friends. I just feel like maybe I wasn't verbal enough and communicative enough about what I expected a friendship to look like. And I learned my lesson from that, because it's hard for me when somebody hurts me, especially somebody in this state in my life. So when I think about like back in the day, I was naive. I gave my trust to stupid people, so I let stupid people let me down. Now, being as old as I am, going through what I've gone through, my my patience for like being treated differently than how I want to is a lot smaller nowadays. And it just sucks that two people that I trusted like wholeheartedly let me down. It triggers my betrayal trauma so much to have somebody misunderstand me who I thought understood me to my core, to have somebody treat me like they hate me because I thought they loved me as much as I love them. So it's hard because I'm also very empathetical, and I want to say like, hey, I understand how life goes, and I understand that we all have to go through our own things. But at the same time, I just did all this work to understand my value, and you know, I can only give myself away as much as I can. And I guess moving forward, I'm better equipped at seeing red flags, and I will do better about communicating what I need in a friendship with the people that I am in a friendship with. I feel more alone than I've probably ever felt. And you know what's so funny is I was talking to Justin a few weeks ago, and I mentioned to him how I feel like having a lot of people in your life can kind of make you weak. And this can be taken the wrong way, so hear me out for a second. And maybe this is just me. This could totally only apply to me. But when I was in high school, I tried to be friends with everybody. I tried to make everybody like me. And I was the most depressed, miserable, sad I had ever been. I was trying so hard to, you know, meet all these people's opinions and expectations, and, you know, lost myself in the process. And then when I dated the person I dated for 5 years, I totally cut off my life when I was with him. Like, I went from all my friends in this one city to this total opposite city, no friends, just me and him living our life. And I felt like I was the most confident, I could make the quickest decisions, I knew what I wanted, I knew what I needed. And after him and I broke up, I feel like I went back to how I was in high school. I was trying to befriend everybody, trying to have all these people around me and, you know, in my corner, and I just became miserable again. Now I feel like I'm back where I was at, where I'm like super lonely, but I'm like confidently alone, because I understand that everybody's human and you gotta do things for yourself, and you can't really depend on a lot of people to do things for you and be there for you, especially when they have their own lives and other people to be there for, especially family. And that's something that I learned a lot, is like, I don't have a close family, and when people have a big close family, like, they're fucking tight, dude. Like, they literally do not need anybody else. And that makes so much sense now that I'm with somebody who I like consider truly for the first time family, because I feel like, yeah, like, we really don't need anybody else. I mean, of course we do. I feel like I don't need somebody who understands me as much as Justin does, like, ever again. Like, it's just, I understand who I am, he understands who I am, and I'm good. So yeah, definitely a lot of growth in the relationship department. Curious to see, you know, what the next trend of events is gonna be with that. Life is so interesting. I started smoking weed pretty regularly again when I was sober, and the few months after that, so probably for like a year and a half, I was getting the worst sleep I've ever gotten, especially during like my 8 months of sobriety during my bodybuilding show, dude. I was literally going to bed at 4 a.m., waking up at like noon. And then it kind of got better where I was going to bed between like 12 and 2, and I would get up between like 8 and 10. And then now, once I started using cannabis like in the evenings before I go to bed, dude, seriously, like, I go to bed at 10 p.m., between 10 and 10:30 every single night by myself. You know, I'm asleep before Justin, which is fucking crazy. He always fell asleep before me. And I literally wake myself up at 5:30, 6 a.m. No alarm. I literally wake up with the sun. Like, that's crazy. And it's so funny because that was a big reason that I stopped smoking, was because I thought it was affecting my sleep. But come to find out, I can't sleep without it, which sucks because I hate like depending on something to help me sleep. But I'm starting to realize, like, over my years, I've probably needed a lot of medication, and I probably still do. So if I can avoid using medication and, you know, use something more natural like cannabis and just deal with the side effects of it that I don't really like, then I will. It was a tough decision for me to share that, and it was a tough decision for me to like be okay with the fact that I was using cannabis again, because I was so against it. I thought it was ruining my life. I let somebody else make me believe that it was ruining my life. I let somebody else make me believe that it was the reason that my life was unmanageable. And my life was unmanageable because I was an absolute emotional mess. I was super codependent and I couldn't set boundaries. And it took me a really long time to realize that, but I'm here now, and that's all that matters. And I think that's like my favorite thing to share on social media is like, you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to be so hardcore about one thing and then completely 180 if it feels like it's your truth. Like, you are so allowed to do that. You're gonna grow, you're gonna change your mind, things are gonna happen that changes your perception, changes your experience. If your mind isn't changing, you're not experiencing new things, you're staying in your comfortable little bubble and just letting the world pass on by. So I touched a little bit about this in my sobriety video, and I don't really want to get super into it because, as I said, I recorded this video a few days ago and it was just super, super negative and just like bringing up all the muck of the past, and I don't want to do that. But essentially what started this whole thing with recovery and the sobriety journey I went through is the relationship. The person that I was dating was literally polar opposite of me, couldn't have been more of a wrong fit for both of us, honestly. I just think we both had a lot of work to do on ourselves, and I think that we both wanted people who weren't like us, so they would be like a project. Like, I wanted to make him more like me, he wanted to make me more like him, and we just constantly fucking bashed heads. I'm codependent, I'm very easily manipulated, or well, I guess I was. I'm working on it, okay? Super easily manipulated and honestly just like influenced in general. So when I have somebody who I care about, whose opinion I value, the things that they say to me like held a lot of value, especially their opinion of me in my life. And obviously that was my downfall because I listened to his opinion more than I listened to mine. I let his opinion change mine. And I let him kind of like speak for me in a lot of things. And I will literally never let anybody do that again. I hope that he gets the help he needs and lives the happiest life ever and finds the person that he wants. Because I think I did too, so. I'm in love with my best friend in the whole world. He is the most amazing person. And I hate talking about it because I feel like I used to talk about my relationships a lot and be like, oh yeah, this is my person, like da-da-da. And it's like, no, dude, I'm just gonna fucking show you with our dumbass, silly videos and the way that he makes me feel and when he looks at me and yeah. I fucking love that man. Ugh. I didn't know what love was outside of codependency. I didn't know what love was outside of throwing myself away for somebody, and he provided and continues to provide a safe space for me to make mistakes, be a dumbass, find myself, love him, love myself, just grow and evolve. And dude, if you find a guy like that, there are not a lot of men out there who will let you be yourself and make mistakes and not project their insecurities on you. Because we seriously, every single one of us, if you're watching this, we all need somebody who will allow us to love ourselves, to be ourselves, and to grow and evolve without judgment, without conditions, without walking on eggshells and feeling like you're alone. I stopped going to recovery meetings and I stopped going to therapy. I've been in it for 2 years, in therapy for almost 3, once a week for 3 years straight, give or take like a couple vacations. And I really just didn't want my identity to be recovery anymore. I really just wanted to be able to live my life and do what feels right for me without just constantly being reminded that I'm codependent, constantly being reminded that I have trauma, constantly being reminded that I have all these things I need to work on. I accumulated so many tools to like take with me in life from recovery, and I'm forever grateful for recovery and I will always recommend it to anybody. But I definitely think there's people who like need that constant reminder. And then I think there's people who need it for life. And then I think there's people who can like go in for a few months, like go hard for a few months, and then step out and then know that it'll literally always be there for them in their next journey, in their next path of recovery or whatever it is. And I think I'm one of those people. But right now I'm so done digging deep. I just want to feel good and happy and enjoy my life. This is Des, and she just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Bye guys!